March 1st, 1932. In the sleepy New Jersey town of Hopewell, the crime of the century was committed. America's aviation hero Charles Lindbergh made world news again when his 20-month-old son, Charles Jr., was kidnapped from the nursery of his home by an intruder. The only clues to the crime were a homemade ladder, some muddy footprints, and a ransom note for $50,000. The largest manhunt in American history was begun in hopes of finding the baby and the abductor. Even the Lindberghs joined the search.
Hello, everybody. We're speaking to you now from the General Store in Hopewell, New Jersey, the improvised press headquarters during the Lindbergh case. We have here a flash which reads as follows. If the kidnappers of our child are unwilling to deal directly,
the Lindbergh statement said that they would do whatever was asked for the safe return of their baby. More ransom notes were received and payments were made. One $50,000 payment was dropped over a cemetery wall by Lindbergh family friend Dr. John Condon, who heard the voice of the blackmailer. The baby, however, was never returned.
Despite the greatest manhunt in history, the baby's murder was not discovered until his little body was found here in the woods near his home 2 months later.
The discovery of the baby's body in May solved half the crime, but the kidnapper was still at large. Police and federal agents followed up countless leads, but it would be more than 2 years before an arrest of substance would be made in the case. Finally, in September of 1934, law enforcement officials released this stunning statement.
We have in custody the man who received the ransom money. His name is Bernard Richard Hauptmann, 1279 East 222nd Street in the borough of the Bronx in the city of New York. He came to this country as a stowaway 11 years ago. He is an alien unlawfully in the country. Will this solve the Lindburgh kidnapping? In the opinion of all three of us, yes.
In this garage across the street from the Hauptmann home, $13,750 of the ransom money shown here was found. 2 cans were stuffed with the gold certificates, and it was the passing of a gold certificate to Walter Lyle, a gas station attendant, that led to Hauptmann's arrest.
With the arrest of Hauptmann, the crime of the century now became the trial of the century. The prosecution, handled by no less than New Jersey's Attorney General, David Wielance, presented its case to the jury of 8 men and 4 women. America's leading newsmen, Walter Winchell and Damon Runyon, were among the 400 reporters that covered the case. Every word was recorded and sent around the world. With the physical evidence against Hauptmann on display, the jury saw a parade of witnesses, including Charles Lindbergh, Anne Lindbergh, and a collection of handwriting experts.
The evidence is unmistakable. Mr. Hauptmann might just as well have signed each one of these ransom notes. So convincing to my mind is the proof that he did write them.
Even with the flood of evidence, defense attorney Edward J. Riley was confident that he could prove Hauptmann's innocence.
Watch our witnesses. They will develop a perfect case for the defense.
But Hauptmann proved to be the weak link in his own defense. Under Weiland's tough cross-examination, he admitted a lie.
When you were arrested with this Lindbergh ransom money, you had a $20 bill. Lindbergh ransom money, did they ask you what it was? Did they ask you? You did. Did you lie to them or did you tell them the truth? Did you lie to them or did you tell them the truth? I said nothing. You lied, didn't you? I did, yes.
New Jersey has rested its case, convinced that it has clearly established that the defendant, Hauptmann, came to the state of New Jersey on the night of March the 1st, 1932, with the ladder which he built, placed that ladder against the wall of the Lindbergh home and went into the Lindbergh home and murdered the child.
The jury returned with a verdict, guilty of murder in the first degree. After the trial, Charles and Anne Lindbergh moved to England. Hauptmann was sent to the electric chair, still denying his guilt. And the events of March 1st, 1932 would have lasting repercussions when Congress passed the Lindbergh Act, a law making kidnapping a federal crime.